Hey, what's up, people of YouTube? This is Grow Me Something Mister. It's time for the August 2019 Gardenside chat, and Howard's not here. He got called into work late, and so I told him, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it for this month. We had 3 entrants, all through commentary, and check this out. How pitiful is that? Look at this. So, I don't know if I should continue using the hat and just let it keep ripping off, then it becomes like a fedora. Or if I should use something different, maybe maybe a bag or some sort of bucket or something like that. Anyway, if y'all want to just let me know, y'all quit if y'all want. Oh, one other thing. I don't know if y'all noticed, not that I'm a gigantic channel, don't really care to be, but 2 years now doing this little Gardenside chat thing, so thank y'all very much for watching, and for those who participate with it, of course, thank y'all very much for your questions. This one was 3 big ones here. One required a lot of research. Got the answers. Enough of me talking. Here we go. Dice cast, folks. Oh, okay. Wow, this is the most difficult one here. So I can't do that poll thing like Howard does, but so the winner of this one for August 2019 is Lucky Do Garden, and she wants to know, do you have your own recipe for fertilizer, or do you use store brand? If you make your own, can we have your recipe, or could you tell us what brand fertilizer you use? So there's a lot to that question, or that series of questions, and what I decided to do was to actually just, rather than just give a basic answer, I wanted to give a bit more of a sciencey kind of answer. Not that I'm a sciencey person, but I want to broadcast what actually fertilizer is in general terms, because there's some confusion of what actually fertilizer is, where it comes from, either artificial or from natural products. So here's my set of answers right here for all the questions, in case y'all worried about it. I do have each answer for each grouping, each person. No, I don't really make my own fertilizer. I make my own compost, which will have elements of fertilizers. So fertilizers, there are 3 basic types. You see the NPK, that's the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So you can get that from multiple different sources, like natural type things, but let's just break down real quick what each of these are and how they're derived. That way you know, if you wanted to make your own, where you would get the ingredients to make these. Now, I went through a site called biologydiscussion.com, and they just broke down, they went really detailed. I didn't want to go too detailed, I just wanted to stay rather basic about this process. So if it's too long, just go ahead and fast forward, skip through, thumbs down, all that good stuff, just to get through it. But here we go. It's not going to be too long. So nitrogen, nitrogen stock. I don't know what you would call it. Nitrogen supplies, like if you want to buy a bucket of it or a bag of it. Nitrogen that you get bagged, or you can get in canisters. They come in at least 4 different forms, such as nitrate, ammonia, other chemical compounds, and plant and animal byproducts. So for example, you can go buy ammonium sulfate, ammonium nitrate, fish manure, and blood meal. And blood meal is what it sounds like. They basically, different places, say like a slaughterhouse, they collect the blood and they dry it out, and that's blood meal. That's your source of nitrogen right there. Of course, there's other sources of nitrogen, like say chicken manure. It's high in nitrogen, so that would be like a natural source. Or if you had fish, like a fish pond, and you wanted to capture that, that's where you can get like a source of nitrogen. And of course, as it's done all day today, it rained, the nitrogen that comes down, and that'll feed your plants and your soil as well with a bunch of nitrogen. So you can buy nitrogen, like there's concentrates that you can actually buy that's like 46% nitrogen if you need to put that into your soil if it's lacking. And one thing I should mention before I go on, it's worthwhile doing a soil test, especially if you're going to try to make your own, tailor it to what you need, because you might have enough of the other ingredients, but you might be, like in my case, lacking nitrogen. So I don't need like a balanced, what they call a balanced fertilizer of say 1010, 13. I don't need that because everything else is fine. It's just I'm low on nitrogen, so I would buy these bag products, or should buy these bag products, to be able to then put into the soil and to you know, boost up how much nitrogen is in the soil. If I was lacking something else, I'd want to tailor my feeding regimen as we're to what I need. So you know, you can save yourself some money from not having to buy what you don't need. A lot of my things in my soil test, things are high, very high. Nitrogen was very low, so I had to take care of that, remedy that situation. Okay, so NPK, nitrogen, we went through. Okay, the second one, phosphorus, you would get that as a phosphate, and they're classified as natural phosphates, treated, byproducts, and chemical phosphates. So examples of buying stock supplies of that include superphosphates and bone meal. Again, bone meal, as it sounds, they'll take, say like chicken bones and whatnot, and they just dry it out, pulverize it. You then have bone meal, and it's that basic. So you can buy actually a bag of bone meal, you can buy a bag of blood meal, and tailor it to what you need, again, based off of your soil test. And the last one is potassium, and that comes in the form, two forms. It comes in the form of muriate or muriate, I don't know how to pronounce it, muriate of potash and sulfate of potash. You can get natural forms of either of these products or potassium from things like bananas, banana peels. Those, as you know, would have potassium in it. And the other would be through wood ashes. So if you burn a fire, keep those ashes that has potassium in it, and it's actually a higher concentration of the potassium than in bananas. Alright, so that's it. Nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, that's the basic three ingredients for your fertilizers. And let me check your question here just to make sure. No, I don't have my own recipe for fertilizer. I do use store brand. I use a fish emulsion. It's the Alaska organic fish emulsion, fish fertilizer. I believe that's a 511. There's also some of these other types. There's Job's Organics, or Job's Organics. I would use them sometime, and there's another one. Can't think of it off the top of my head, but I think it's mostly Job's or the Alaska, or you know, natural products that you can use. As I mentioned with my soil test, I really need to just worry about nitrogen. I don't have to worry about adding anything else. So my particular thing for a recipe would be all nitrogen. Do a test for your soil. You might need something else, more minerals, calcium, that type of thing. So, okie dokes. Ms. Lucky Dude, thanks very much for the question. Everyone else, thanks very much for your questions. And if you want to see something for the September Gardenside chat, put it down below in commentary. You can also email me, strawhatvideo@gmail.com. Either which way works perfectly fine. And hopefully next go around Howard will be here. So thanks very much for watching. This is Grow Something Mister, and remember to, I don't have an next line yet, so see you later, everybody.